Hello, and welcome to the Artsakh-Armenia Relief Concert, sponsored by the Knights of Vartan Araks Lodge. My name is Janikian. I'm commander of Araks Lodge, and I'd like to thank the musicians from both coasts for their talents and efforts, all of which have been donated and for volunteer efforts to truly make this a successful event. I'd especially like to thank Charlie and Ken Kalajian for coordinating those musicians, as well as the production activities. We're trying to do the best we can to serve our community, and we're hoping that you can help us out. Thank you again for joining. Thank you for your support. And without further ado, the concert.
Hello, and welcome to the Artsakh-Armenia Relief Concert, sponsored by the Knights of Vartan Araks Lodge, Providence. My name is Sonya Taraian, host of the Armenian Radio Hour, the longest-running ethnic radio program in the United States. And I'm honored to introduce you to our talented musicians, all of whom have donated their time to raise needed funds to support our brothers and sisters in Artsakh. You will be inspired by musicians on the East Coast, featuring the Armenian New England Ensemble with Leon Janikian, Harry Bedrossian, Barsamian, Charlie Kalajian, Mher Mnatsakanyan, Ken Kalajian, and Gary Kashmanian. And from the West Coast, we have the Richard Hagopian Ensemble with Richard Hagopian, Andrew Hagopian, Armen Hagopian, and Philip Hagopian. Music is the expressive language of culture. It brings people together, enriches our soul, and reinforces what we long to remember. As we join to remember and support our brothers and sisters in Artsakh, let this music, along with words from our faithful clergy and leaders of the Knights of Vartan, create a cultural solidarity of identity and purpose. This first song that you're about to hear is a medley, Artyo Ovin and Lorke, performed by the Armenian New England Ensemble, defined by the 1988 to 1994 Artsakh Liberation War. The lyrics praise and motivate the brave Armenian soldiers who held Armenian history and heroes in their hearts as they fought for their cause.
Մեջ Good afternoon, everybody. Today we're congregated here, going to play a few melodies for you, hopefully to be used to raise money for Armenia and Artsakh. I'm proud to present a three-generation family group. My son on clarinet on right, Armen Hagopian. My grandson and his son on the drum, Philip Hagopian. And the younger son on kanun, Andrew Hagopian. And on oud, myself, Richard Hagopian. I hope you enjoy the melodies that we've picked out for you. They are traditional and old.
You just heard the Richard Hagopian Ensemble play Es Bujor. This is a traditional Armenian folk song. The lyrics of the song describe the love between a boy and a girl. If you are enjoying this program, please give. Your generosity is needed to support this worthy cause. Please choose from one of the payment methods listed on the bottom of this screen. Payment options include PayPal or Venmo. You can also write a check. Make your checks payable to the Knights of Vartan Charitable Fund and mail it to P.O. Box 3673, Cranston, Rhode Island 02910. Now, I would like to introduce you to the Grand Commander of the Knights of Vartan, Mr. Steve Adams, to say a few words.
Good evening, afternoon, or morning, depending on your time zone. On behalf of the Avak Tivan of the Knights of Vartan, I want to congratulate Artsakh Lodge for putting together this wonderful program. As a nation, we are in difficult times. As I look back in our history, this reminds me of the Battle of Vartanants in 451. We lost the battle, but eventually won the war, but it took 30 years. We are a patient and determined people. We are guided and driven by our faith. The Knights of Vartan was founded in 1916 as an outcome of the genocide of the Armenian people. We are committed to preserving the culture and heritage of our people. I can think of no better way to take some comfort in these troubled times than by promoting that culture through music. These musicians we are listening to today have dedicated themselves to helping preserve that culture. Music gives us joy, but it also gives us comfort. I hope you enjoy the program today with the knowledge that our culture survives and will continue to flourish. Thank you for joining us today.
The last medley that you just heard by the Armenian New England Ensemble highlights Binyol, written by Avedik Isahakyan. The composer chose Binyol as the title since it references land that once was part of historic Western Armenia and describes the landscape of glacier lakes and turbulent water. The next song on this fabulous program is called Horum Horum. This is another traditional Armenian folk song from the Caucasus region of Armenia. If you're enjoying this program, please give. Your generosity is needed to support this worthy cause. Please choose from one of the payment methods listed on the bottom of this screen. Payment options can either be by PayPal or Venmo. You can write a check payable to Knights of Vartan Charitable Fund and mail it to P.O. Box 3673, Cranston, Rhode Island, 02910. Now, I would like to introduce you to the Knights of Vartan liaison in Armenia, Miss Gohar Palyan, to say a few words.
Hello, dear knights and daughters of Vartan. I'm sure you know the result of the 44 days war we have been fighting against Azerbaijan, Turkey, and their mercenaries. Please accept my sincere appreciation for our diaspora, who day and night prayed for peace, protested around the world, and supported Armenians in the homeland, both financially and psychologically. Our soldiers, mostly 18, 20 years old, sometimes a little bit older, were fighting beyond their capacity. Away from the war zone, here in the homeland, we were extremely united during these 44 days. We were collecting, sewing, buying uniforms and sleeping bags for soldiers, collecting dry food, sweets, and cigarettes and sending for them. At the same time, most schools and institutions such as Opera House were making military covenants with high school students, employees, and parents. As total strangers, we would come together to work side by side, get a little training, and start to work. We bow our heads to the memory of our fallen heroes, their families, and pray for speedy recovery for the wounded heroes, for our fallen heroes, for their dreams, for our country. Today, in Armenia, in Artsakh, and in diaspora, we need to be more united more than before. More than funds, Armenia needs people. World-level professional Armenian people in leadership, management, diplomats, development skills, engineers, scientists, etc. The homeland needs us. Either we learn from our mistakes or we lose our country in the 21st century. Have to be strong. A strong country means strong economy plus strong army. Again, we have to be united and strong. Thank you.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Did you enjoy that last traditional Armenian folk song, Siro Yerk, by the Armenian New England Ensemble? Up next, we go back to the Richard Hagopian Ensemble performing Ach im Anush Yadas. This is also a traditional Armenian folk song. Lyrics include, I once had a lover, tall like a popular tree, queen of the most beautiful. Ah, my sweet, why did you leave me? Why did you leave me and forget me? Again, if you're enjoying this program, please give. Your generosity is needed to support this worthy cause. Please choose from one of the payment methods listed at the bottom of this screen. You can pay by PayPal or use Venmo. Write a check payable to the Knights of Vartan Charitable Fund and mail it to P.O. Box 3673, Cranston, Rhode Island, 02910.
Yo
I would like to introduce you to Reverend Father Shunork Souin, pastor of St. Sahag and St. Mesrob Armenian Orthodox Church in Providence, Rhode Island, to say a few words.
We all know how devastating the war that began on September 26th was for Armenia and Artsakh, and the horrible way in which Azerbaijan attacked the people of Artsakh. I wouldn't say defenseless people, but the aftermath of the war was very tragic. Naturally, Azerbaijan has been loading up, building up their arms and their military machine in order to fight this battle. And they were supported by Turkey, and various other countries closed their eyes to it because we're in the middle of a pandemic. Of course, we Armenians once again stood alone. But we're a nation of 10 million people. While Armenia itself might only have 2.5 to 3 million people, and Artsakh itself is a republic of, was 150,000 or so people, diminished now because of the refugees. The nation really is comprised of the diaspora, which is probably 2/3 of the entire population. And I'm so proud and happy that this community has responded in such a great way and has not left her brothers and sisters in Armenia and Artsakh alone. There's been a tremendous outpouring of money, supplies, and prayers for our people in Armenia. And many organizations, churches throughout the diaspora have really made tremendous sacrifices, as the people in Armenia themselves have made. Some of you know that their Shinork, me, has pledged to wear my son's army jacket for this 40-day period of suk, or mourning, while we mourn the loss of probably upwards of 3,000 young soldiers and not so young soldiers who gave their lives in a selfless sacrifice to defend their people and their native homeland. We're the indigenous people of the land, and we've always been left alone, it seems, throughout the centuries. And it's just one more hurdle that we have to climb and crawl our way back to be the people that we're called to be, and that we're privileged to be as God's chosen people, really the first Christian nation. And we can't count on anyone else, and so we count on you, our community, to support this tremendous effort in rebuilding Armenia once again. And we believe that it's already started, and there are all kinds of fundraisers going. And here's another one, that the Knights of Vartan, right here in Providence, the Kov-Arax Lodge have pledged to do this great event, and I'm so proud to be part of it. And I'm really pleased by the program itself, which is a lot of fun at the same time while we're grieving the loss. But it's great that as Armenians, when they gather together, even the most tragic times, we always find a way to smile and to be together. So I want to thank you for your support, everything and anything that you can give for this live event, to support it and to support the work of the Knights of Vartan, Kov-Arax Lodge, and to support our brothers and sisters in Armenia is so greatly appreciated and needed. God bless you. May the spirit of Christmas and giving and the spirit of love and commitment to our cause as citizens of the nation of Armenia and Artsakh be so brightly lit in each and every one of our lives. And so thank you again for your support. Please reach deeply and make this a great success. God bless you, and thank you.
That was the Armenian New England Ensemble playing a medley including Dili Yaman and Kani Vorjanam by Sayat Nova. Dili Yaman is a folk song that paints a picture of the Armenian soul. That beautiful music was first written as a love song, but became a hymn to define the Armenian genocide. Kani Vorjanam is a beautiful love song. Up next is the Richard Hagopian Ensemble playing Hele Hele, a well-known folk song of Dikranagiert. Lyrics of the refrain is, "There's going to be a celebration." This is repeated after every line. "Tonight is the night of resurrection. Ask the beauties for favors and questions. If every girl should give a kiss, the whole world is topsy-turvy." If you're enjoying this program, please give. Your generosity is needed and very much appreciated. Please choose from one of the payment methods listed on the bottom of this screen. You can pay by using PayPal or Venmo, or write a check. Make your checks payable to the Knights of Vartan Charitable Fund and mail it to P.O. Box 3673, Cranston, Rhode Island 02910. would like to take this opportunity to introduce Reverend Dr. Ara Heghinian of the Armenian Evangelical Church of Rhode Island to say a few words.
Throughout the month of October, we have been praying here in our church and in Armenian churches throughout the world for peace and for justice in Artsakh. For the last several decades, Artsakh has been a peaceful, prosperous place. And then about the last week of September, rockets began raining down on Artsakh's two greatest cities, Stepanakert and Shushi. Fighting erupted on the borders of Artsakh and Azerbaijan. Over the summer, under the cover of global pandemic, when the rest of the planet was worrying about COVID-19 and the American election, Turkey moved all its elite terrorist commando units from Syria and Libya, where they had been operating, with murderous and larcenous intent, and dropped them onto the Armenian Artsakh border with Azerbaijan. The amassed Turkish and Azeri troops commenced artillery attacks that by all reports were heavier and caused more damage than 5 years of fighting in Syria had accomplished. The attacks targeted hospitals, schools, and civilian populations. They were clearly engineered to chase the populace out of the cities, out of Shushi and Stepanakert, and out of Artsakh. Not the armies, not the combatants, the people, the children, the communities, the families, the businesses, the cultural institutions, the livelihood of the Armenian people in Artsakh were being driven out. For well over a month, they succeeded, until the fighting began to overflow into Armenia proper. Shushi had fallen into Azeri hands. Stepanakert was reduced to a rubble, uninhabitable, worse than Aleppo after 5 years of shelling and fighting. Until finally, on Tuesday, November 10th, a ceasefire was signed that turned over so much of Artsakh, historically Armenian lands, to the Azeris. Thousands of acres of Armenian forests have been burned and the ground poisoned by toxic chemicals. Thousands of soldiers and ordinary men, women, and children have lost their lives, and we remember their heroic sacrifice. And many thousands more have lost their homes, and we remember their pain. In the face of such suffering and loss, we read from the words of St. Paul. I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. What then shall we say in response to these things? If God is for us, who is against us? For I am convinced that neither death nor life, neither angels nor demons, neither present nor future, nor any powers, neither height nor depth, nor anything in all creation will be able to separate us from the love of God that is in Christ Jesus our Lord. We Armenians know suffering. We know lament. And we know faith. We are the children of Vartan, and our race did not die on the battlefields of Avarar, nor in the deserts of Derzor, nor on the Lachin corridor. We are the children of William Zorian, who said, go ahead, destroy Armenia. See if you can do it. Send them into the desert without bread or water. Burn their homes and churches. Then see if they will not laugh and sing and pray again. For when two of them meet anywhere in the world, see if they will not create a new Armenia. We are the children of Baruch Sevag, who wrote in the last line of his famous poem entitled Kichenk Paitz Hayenk. We are few, but we are Armenian. Gank, Bidililenk, Uter Shadanank. We exist, we will endure, and we will grow again. Stay strong, fellow Armenians. And together, let us retain our vision and our commitment for a faithful, strong, and vibrant Armenian people and homeland. May God bless us all.
The last song you heard by the Armenian New England Ensemble was Gamavor Zinvor by Karakin Prujan. This song came to honor the brave soldiers of World War I. The Gamavors, which means volunteer fighters, were an invaluable force made up of survivors from Musadah. This song defined the resistance efforts of World War I. Up next, by the Richard Hagopian Ensemble, is Anush Yaras Heratsa. This traditional Armenian song is written by Hrant Kemkulyan, discussing his love life and his loss of his sweetheart. I became separated from my sweetheart. My entire world is now forgotten. I have always endured pain, but now I am separated from my loved one. If you're enjoying this program, please give. Please make a donation. Your help is needed. Please choose from one of the payment methods listed on the bottom of this screen. You can use PayPal or Venmo or write a check. Make your checks payable to the Knights of Vartan Charitable Fund and mail it to P.O. Box 3673, Cranston, Rhode Island, 02910. I would like to introduce you to our last speaker of the evening, Reverend Father Kapriel Nazarian, pastor of St. Vartan's Armenian Apostolic Church of Providence, Rhode Island, to say a few words.
Dear friends, as we enjoy this beautiful concert together, we are very mindful of the unprovoked attack that Azerbaijan, empowered by Turkey, unleashed against our brothers and sisters living in Artsakh, on September 27th, and all the events that have followed and are still unfolding. Artsakh is Armenia, we all know this, and our brave soldiers have fought valiantly to protect and preserve our ancient homeland, their families, and our sacred churches, monasteries, and historic sites that stretch back to antiquity. While there remains uncertainty in the days ahead, there is one thing that we are certain of today. We have come together as one united family, whether living in Armenia, Artsakh, or spread around the world in the diaspora. Our brothers and sisters that are on the front lines of this struggle have been encouraged, lifted, and strengthened through our many expressions of support and solidarity with them. We've all been strengthened through coming together and standing for truth and righteousness. With Christ as the head of our family, our faith remains strong, and our enemy will learn again that nothing can separate us from the love of Christ, and nothing can extinguish his light that burns brightly within us. We keep our faith in God to deliver us from our present-day struggle, just as he has faithfully delivered us from all the struggles we have faced over the centuries. Over these past weeks, we have all been asked to do our part to financially support our brothers and sisters through the many fundraising events that have taken place in our communities. You have responded with great generosity, and may God bless you abundantly for what you have done. I ask you to continue to open your hearts with the commitment and love that you have already shown during these most challenging days. The need, make no mistake about it, is great, and as we continue to provide the vital funds that are needed for humanitarian aid, especially for the families most impacted by the war, the wounded soldiers, the widows, and the orphans, and at the same time we begin the process of rebuilding, we are answering our Lord's call to serve one another in a very special way. We may never meet the individuals and families that are helped by our donations, but that only makes our charity more precious in Jesus' eyes, because it is as if we were helping Jesus himself. We read his words in the Gospel according to St. Matthew, "For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you looked after me. Whatever you did for the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me." So let us take this opportunity to not only restore and rebuild our brothers and sisters in our homeland, but to also, in Jesus' words, to store up for ourselves treasures in heaven that are eternal. I commend the faithful work of the Artsakh Lodge of the Knights of Vartan in organizing and sponsoring this very special concert, and all the musicians who have joyfully shared their talents for this noble cause. I hope that as you are enjoying this evening of music, your heart is moved to donate generously once more and with joy, for God loves a cheerful giver. Most importantly, let us continue on the path of living as one united family, no matter where we live in the world, for our true strength as a nation has always been and will continue to be our unity in faith in our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. God bless you all.
you just heard performed by the Armenian New England Ensemble was the incredibly beautiful Gomidas medley, Kele Kele and Shorejan. Both songs speak of love and loss. Shore travels to the mountains, but due to harsh weather never returns. This medley features the dudur, a beautiful ancient Armenian instrument. Up next is a rigid Hagopian ensemble performing Sirun Achchik. This is a traditional song written by Hrant Kalajian in 1936 for his bride-to-be, Ahavni. Lyrics of this song include "Sweet girl, sweet love, come take my soul, I can't do without you. Wherever you go, take me with you." If you're enjoying this program, please make a donation. Your generosity is needed to support this worthy cause. Please choose from one of the payment methods listed below. Payment options: PayPal, Venmo. You can write a check. Please make your checks payable to Knights of Vartan Charitable Fund and mail it to P.O. Box 3673, Cranston, Rhode Island, 02910. Our last song on the program, performed by the Armenian New England Ensemble, is Dinata Dinata by composer and musical artist Ara Dingshan. He wrote this song for the 2004 World Olympics held in Greece. This piece was performed during the closing ceremony of the Greek Olympic Games, and the Armenian New England Ensemble will end this live stream concert with this song to honor our Greek brethren who have consistently stood in solidarity with the Armenians. If you enjoyed this program, please donate. Your generosity is needed to support this worthy cause. Please choose from one of the payment methods listed on the bottom of this screen. Payment options include using PayPal or Venmo to make your donation, or you can write a check payable to Knights of Vartan Charitable Fund and mail it to P.O. Box 3673, Cranston, Rhode Island 02910. Lastly, we need your help to share this concert and spread awareness to what is happening in Artsakh. Please like this video, share it on your social media platforms, and invite your friends to view this fundraising event. This concert will remain available on YouTube and Facebook for as long as donations come in. Thank you so much for joining us and for your generous donations. Your support is greatly appreciated to help the Artsakh-Armenian people in need during these turbulent times. I would like to personally thank the Knights of Vartan-Araks Lodge's efforts in putting this amazing event together. All of the funds that were raised while you were watching this concert will be donated to our brethren in Armenia and Artsakh affected by the war. I also want to take this opportunity to thank the musicians in the Armenian New England Ensemble and the Richard Hagopian Ensemble, who have graciously donated their time and musical talents to support this cause. To our wonderful speakers, thank you for your powerful messages in drawing awareness and educating us all on the hardships that Artsakh is facing. And last, but certainly not least, I would like to thank Brad and Olivia Kleyla of JB Kleyla Production Studios for producing and editing the audio and video for this fundraiser. Thank you again for tuning into this event and for your generous donations.